Hello, everyone. Today's deck is something truly wild. So, I've called this Esper Value Vamps because this is essentially a mid-range deck designed to grind the opponent out, but it's based around vampires. Every creature in our main deck is a vampire. And unlike other decks that play for unclaimed territory or maybe a lord or something like that, our only vampire payoff is Arterial Flow. This card is actually quite good. Mind Rot is already, close to constructed playable. It's usually just a bit too weak. But with the life gain rider, it becomes excellent. And then, basically what ties this entire deck together is that our threats are very resilient, either by recurring or just by refusing to die, like a Danto Vanguard. And the fact that Blood Operative has lifelink ties it all together. So, I'll take a bit on this deck tech because there's a lot of moving parts going on here. Basically, Oathsworn Vampire is a creature that you can cast from your graveyard as long as you've gained life. So, we need ways to gain life, and they're kind of all over the place in this deck. Blood Operative can attack to gain life, it requires a lot of mana, but Arterial Flow can gain life when you play it. The easier ways are attacking with Dawn of Hope tokens, which coincidentally synergizes with all the other life gain in the deck, because you can just keep drawing a lot of cards. Or, my favorite discovery that really made this deck actually work is Fountain of Renewal. This costs a card, and on its face is just awful. You don't want to spend an entire card on one life per turn, that's not good enough. But, if you have Dawn of Hope out, you can draw an extra card every turn for 2 mana, which is quite good. It's not a Howling Mine, but if you have extra mana, that's certainly something you're willing to do. And just the fact that a single Fountain of Renewal means you can cast every Oathsworn Vampire that's in your graveyard. Now, why is this deck blue? Because I tried a black-white version, and it didn't really all work together. We didn't have enough discard outlets for Oathsworn Vampire, so we were just drawing this 2/2 all the time, and it didn't really work. And Mono Black doesn't have enough good Surveil cards. Discovery Dispersal is excellent, you don't need to play blue for this card, but you need more than that in order to make Blood Operative work. So, once we go into blue, we have Chart a Course, which can be a good source of card advantage with our 2-drop creatures that we are really happy to attack with. Or it can be card selection, and discarding Oathsworn Vampire or Blood Operative only to recur them later is great value. The only other card that I haven't really talked about yet is Twilight Prophet. This card is interesting. It's very fragile, which is not great. If it dies, you're just kind of out of luck because it didn't really do anything when you played it. But it ends the game very quickly, it's a card advantage engine, it's a vampire, and perhaps most importantly, this is the best deck I've ever played at keeping one of these alive. Because we've got 4 Thought Erasure, 3 Arterial Flow, and a bunch of other must-answer creatures. And so frequently, you just bleed your opponent out of resources, they've got nothing left, and then you can stick this big vampire that actually wins the game. I felt like the deck needed something like this because sometimes against a control deck or a bigger mid-range deck with big creatures, just casting a bunch of free 2/2s isn't always enough. So sometimes we needed to go a little bit bigger. Sideboard is pretty straightforward, how my black deck sideboards tend to be. Moment of Craving for against aggro, same for Golden Demise. Vraska's Contempt if we think the opponent is likely to have a lot of planeswalkers or big threats that we need to remove. Negate and Disdainful Stroke for against control. Normally, I'm the type to put 4 Duress in my sideboard, but with 3 Arterial Flow and 4 Thought Erasure, we already have more than enough discard. That's not the axis we want to fight on. Instead, we want to shred their hand early and then hold up these counters late in order to stop them from top-decking a Teferi or whatever. Notably, this deck is actually very good at playing with counters because of Dawn of Hope. If you just pass with 4 mana up and they don't do anything that you need to counter, you just make a token, and the tokens that you make are so excellent because instead of just being a 1/1, they threaten to bring back 2/2s or just draw a bunch of cards. Oh, Slate rules note that is not obvious, and I actually misunderstood until I played this deck. If I attack with 3 lifelink creatures and they all connect, I haven't gained 3 life one time. Instead, I gained 1 life 3 times, and so every lifelink creature you have triggers Dawn of Hope. And so it's not uncommon to just get a couple 1/1s down, the opponent doesn't want to deal with them because they don't really do anything, but every time they connect, you can pay 4 mana to draw 2 cards, and you quickly run away with the game. And then finally, one more Dawn of Hope, good against control decks or decks that are able to remove it. Having one of these down is great, and so if we think they are in danger, we want to make sure we have it all. Final note, the mana for this deck is quite awkward. We have 12 untapped lands and 12 of the M10 style check lands. That's not great, but we don't have Godless Shrine or Hallowed Fountain yet in the format, so we have to make do with what we've got. This deck has 17 black sources, which is, you don't want to go lower than that to cast these very heavy black cards. We have 11 white sources, which is fine for Adanto Vanguard and Dawn of Hope. Not great, but you don't need double white, so it's okay. And 12 blue sources, which again is fine. The mana in this deck is not excellent, but it's better than I expected it to be, and it does work well enough. So, without further ado, let's hop into the games and see what this pile can do. Alright, getting into the first match with Esper Value Vamps. I played some early iterations with this and was just getting clobbered every time. And actually, the card that made the difference for me was Fountain of Renewal. This hand is still not keepable, just doesn't have anything going on. But, once I got the Fountain in the deck, it all just really came alive. Glacial Fortress is a fantastic card to have on top. I didn't love this hand, but thought that curving Vampire into Arterial Flow was probably okay. Adanto Vanguard into Arterial Flow is much more exciting, especially against a Steam Vents deck. Let's hope that they are not a Phoenix deck really happy to discard 2 cards. No, instead they are a Search for Azcanta deck. That is much better for us. Okay, more Arterial Flows, awesome. This is so good to be doing against a control deck, just a life swing, which they can't really afford, and also just really... It is card advantage in its purest form. Just crush their resources down while only spending 1 card yourself. Adanto Vanguard, probably the card in the deck that has the least synergy, but also one of the most important. Against control decks like this, it's a clock. It will just kill them very quickly if they can't deal with it. And it also is a vampire that's really hard to deal with, so Arterial Flow is really likely to do its thing. Huh. I should have actually done this pre-combat. Now I am walking into a potential seal away. We were not punished, so that's cool. And let's go ahead and do that again. Need to draw one of our engine cards here. Oh, that's spicy. Okay. I wish we had something else going on, but... Or I wish we had one more land so we could cast the Oathsworn Vampire now. Yeah, see? Oh well. They are on very few resources. Oh, but if they bend the card, they can flip their search here. That's pretty good. Would love to draw Dawn of Hope, or Twilight Prophet is very likely to stick and just win the game if we drew that here. Well, it doesn't actually... We don't have the City's Blessing, so that's not actually true. I guess we want to draw, like, another Adanto Vanguard or something. We do not want to draw another Plains. I really didn't anticipate expansion on my own Arterial Flow. That was a nice play by the opponent. Ooh boy. Flooding out a bit. Maybe Adanto Vanguard will go the distance. Oh, please don't have a Settle the Wreckage. Okay, that's not a Settle the Wreckage. No seal away. Hopefully they have, like, Justice Strikes and cards like that. Sinister Sabotage, cool. Don't plan on casting any spells myself, so that's fine. Arterial Flow is lethal if they tap down. We only have 1 more in the deck. There are only 3 main deck. 4 was just too many. I kept drawing them against Hellbent opponents, and just the damage part is not good enough. Alright, go ahead and cast this. If they want to counter it, that's fine. Means they aren't, yeah. Means they are not activating Azcanta, so this one's more likely to live. Okay, they bend to land. Will they find an answer, or will this vampire deal, like, 15 damage? Okay, that buys them a turn. This is an interesting question. If we keep it around, it'll let us keep buying back the Oathsworn Vampire indefinitely. If we crack it, we get a random card. I think I'm actually fine with just a limitless supply of 2/2s. It's a pity it doesn't gain life when it enters. Otherwise, we could get one back right now, and that would be excellent, but oh well, take what we can get. Alright, they have a lot of cards in hand, they have an active Azcanta, but they don't have that much mana to work with, and we have a very difficult to answer threat. Plus, as I mentioned, oh, and they whiffed with Azcanta? Wow, okay. Yeah! Got there. Alrighty, Jeskai Control. What cards are good? This card is really good. That card's really good. What cards are bad? That's a bit harder. I've been trimming a Charter Course. Against a control deck, we're more likely to just cast an Oathsworn Vampire and have it die and then bring it back that way. Oh yeah, you can see the cards even in this view now. That's awesome. This is actually kind of tough. I am not entirely sure what all I'm supposed to board out. I almost want more Vraska's Contempts for against Teferi, but we've got a lot of discard and 5 counters that hit him. So maybe I'm just supposed to board out the 1 Vraska's Contempt that we have. And then, how likely are we to be able to keep this on the table? Not likely. Most of their deck probably kills it, so that's probably pretty bad. Do we go down, like, a single discard spell, or maybe one of these effects? I almost want to board in the 4th Dawn of Hope. I think if they show artifact removal of any kind, I will board in the 4th one. Like, if they have the Invoke the Divine, I will probably bring in the 4th one. But as is, I think this arrangement's okay. Boarding with this deck is kinda hard, because all the pieces are so synergy-based. We need a blue source, but we have a card that can find it, and the rest of the hand's great, so yeah. Go ahead and just get this down right now. The life gain's basically irrelevant, but it means next turn we can just start slamming things like Oathsworn Vampire, and if they have a counter for it, whatever. Okay, no Azcanta, the Sunken Ruin is good for us. Alright. Go ahead and play my Vampire. A Syncopate for 1 would be sad, but not really a lot we can do about that. Could burn one of our discoveries now, but that's pretty lame. Ah, they had it. Oh well. Goodbye, Oathsworn Vampire. I will miss you. Here, I think I will Discovery. Now that I only have 1 threat, I want to play a little more carefully with it. I don't want to walk into a Syncopate for 1 on my Blood Operative. These cards are both great. Yeah, we need a white source, and a discard spell is very welcome here, so go ahead and play this Watergrave tapped. Then starting next turn, we can play a discard spell and hold up Negate if necessary, which seems cool. Would love to bin like an Oathsworn Vampire here or something. Negating my Thought Erasure. Sure. Now that we don't know what's going on, I'm just going to go ahead and pass. I don't want to let a potential Teferi resolve. Think we can win almost any game where that Planeswalker doesn't hit the table. Okay, they missed their 5th land. Doesn't really indicate whether or not they have a Teferi. Let's see. Any counter they have could hit Blood Operative anyway. We'll just go ahead and make it pretty clear that we have a counter. This was not the correct time to do that, because they draw 2 cards, and now Blood Operative enters, and I'm going to get their Chemister's Insight. Need to remember that this card has other text. It's very good. Alright, let's see what they got. Big Man. I think Negate's a little more flexible. If they have like a Lyra Dawnbringer or something, I'm going to be very sad that I just said that, but otherwise, very happy to get him up. Get rid of him. Okay. I think I just play this and pass. Keep up negate for a second possible Teferi. Nothing we got off of Discovery was going to be better than the impossible to kill 3-1. Alright, no Lyra Dawnbringer. Nothing. Okay. Don't really have anything to do on their turn. Just leaving this in play. If we draw a Dawn of Hope or a Vampire or basically anything, we're going to be happier if we leave this around. We're not desperate for another card yet. We've got stuff to do. Sure. Mostly I was just looking to make sure that they didn't have a Settle the Wreckage, so I'm totally fine with them countering our card, because it means we're not getting settled. And yeah. Yeah, I don't love this happening, but we've still got a clock in play, we can counter a Teferi, and we've got a Discovery to find us something else to do. Well... oh boy. We can get rid of this with a Dispersal, but it will not be easy. And I think we need to Discovery right now to look for something to do, just because we need, like, Arterial Flow into a Dispersal. Oh boy. Now that we know that they brought Lyras in... Alright, let's go ahead and get the cards out of their hand. Multiple Deafening Clarions. Okay. I feel like they kind of misunderstood what our deck does, but it's going to pay off for them. Oh my gosh! That is a ridiculous top deck. Holy crap. Yeah, there's no way we're beating that. Jeez! Alright. Well, that went from very good for us to very bad in a hurry. Alright. So, Lyra. She is bad news. Do we even want negates? Yeah, we still want a lot of counters, but... ugh. What can we bring in? Like, Thought Erasure helps with that, and we could bring in the Vraska's Contempts to deal with her and Niv Mizzet. I could just cut down on some of our value plan. I don't hate that. Like, trim a Fountain, trim a couple Oathsworn Vampires. Brought in the discard spell, bring in a couple Vraska's Contempt. Slightly less good at grinding this time, but we were set up to grind the last game. The problem was the opponent played a Trump, and we had no response to the Trump. I think I like this a little better. Niv Mizzet probably still would have like ended the game there, but if we had negated Teferi and then had Disdainful Stroke for the Lyra, we would have applied a lot more pressure. So, yuck. They have big, awesome creatures. Also sweepers, but the sweepers are very bad against us. Just very, very bad. Play first. Sure? I'm gonna Thought Erasure on 2. I want to get a possible search for Azcanta. Okay. Discovery is very good here. Okay. They just have a lot of counters, basically. Taking Teferi, because that's the card that beats us. Do I keep a negate? I think I do. I like having a negate around. Okay, then this turn I will just play the Vampire. Next turn I can start digging for lands, holding up negates, chip in for damage, stuff like that. Let's try. They might negate a Discovery here. Okay. Using the one we don't know about. Oh, wow! They have so many creatures post-board. Holy crap. Yeah. I guess I just go ahead and stick this Blood Operative while they're tapped low. I guess I should get rid of Negate in case they had Mission Briefing, but that's really marginal. Attacking me, huh? They draw another creature? No. That's just an extremely aggressive attack. Do I leave up Negate for a possible Teferi, or do I Discovery to try to get something going? I think I can just pass. I'm way ahead on life. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and attack here, because either creature they block, I get in some damage and I can buy it back. Yeah, like they block here. I say sure, get in for 10. Discovery. They try to counter this. I suppose we know about expansion, and so a counter fight here isn't going to end well for us. And will actually allow them to... Yeah, I screwed this up. I was thinking we could negate to protect that, but if we try to negate the Sinister Sabotage, they actually expansion their own Sinister Sabotage and get 2 shots of that. Really need one of our white sources here. I still don't think we sacrifice the Fountain of Renewal. One of our best draws would be like a Charter Course pitching another Oathsworn Vampire. Then we could keep attacking with them every turn and getting it back. We're close to just a big expansion ending the game, though. Glacial Fortress, cool. Yeah, they drew another counter. That's bad for us. I am stunned by how many creatures they have in post-board. Like, I expected Lyra and Niv Mizzet wasn't that weird, but all of those plus this Crackling Drake is surprising, and this is so bad for us. Need, like, a Dawn of Hope real bad. Disdainful Stroke is not the worst thing in the world. Even just another Oathsworn Vampire would be great. I think we have to let this happen. Delayed for some reason, sure. Resolve. They're probably just going to do it again. No. I don't know why they didn't. They probably should have. Okay, go ahead and go to my turn. Huh. This is something we can kind of just throw out there. Still leaving a counter up. Basically, we just want to... Yeah, sure, whatever. Burn your Syncopate. Syncopate... Huh. Copying that, huh? I guess we have to negate expansion. But yeah, anything that gets a Syncopate out of their hand means a later Oathsworn Vampire is actually a good draw. Yeah, okay. And then they drew Teferi. Alright. Those last 2 games were really awkward. We just lost to their creatures. So maybe I'm supposed to have, like, the full 4 Contempts in? I don't know. Alright, second match. I think... after this match, maybe, or maybe just in the wrap-up, I'll take another look at the sideboard and consider what I want to do. Because I thought the counter spells would be a good game plan, and the counters were good. But it felt like I was just losing. Ugh. This hand needs blue, but we've got 12 blue sources. Otherwise the mana works, and we've got one of our best cards. Plus we're on the draw. I'll keep it. But yeah. More islands. Cool. Glacial Fortress. All of our prayers are answered. No search for Azcanta. Okay. That's more beatable than search for Azcanta. But yeah, maybe we just need to recognize that our grind game plan is better than theirs and just go entirely for that. Let's see. They banned Island Doomwhisper, so they are like a blue-black control deck and not like a Drake deck. Yeah, if our grind game plan is better because of things like Dawn of Hope, maybe we just need to board down some of the enablers like Charter Course and Discovery. Sure, Disinformation Campaign, that's fine. Pitch a Swamp. Just gonna go ahead and Thought Erasure here, try to pick apart what they've got going on. Terrible, fine, good against us, good eventually. Gonna take the Moment of Craving in the Glacial Fortress. Now we just try to run away with the game with the Danto Vanguard. Next turn we can Thought Erasure plus get some card advantage with Charter Course. Thought Erasure taking the Eldest Reborn to... oh my. Oh, we don't have double blue. Crap. And we still do need to Thought Erasure here. Otherwise the Eldest Reborn's going to get our Adanto Vanguard, and then we have nothing going on. So. Sure. That's a great card. Can we beat this? Sure. Yeah. Dawn of Hope beats that pretty easily. Cool. I had to... Wizards prints a lot of million mana blue creature that control decks can't answer, and it takes a while to remember what they all do. Because they're all slightly different in how they're unbeatable, but... Alright. Go ahead. Attack with the Adanto Vanguard. Go ahead and chart a course, draw some cards. Alright, and then we have... Huh. Is it even worth playing this out? No, I'm just gonna go ahead and get the Dawn of Hope down. Like, this would have used our mana a little bit better, but it doesn't really do anything because they actually have removal spells that deal with this. Okay, sure. And this, like, in a different type of game, might be really bad for us, because they get to pick up double Disinformation Campaign, so they have the potential to just be up 30 million cards. But, at the same time, like, here we can pitch the Blood Operative, because we don't really care about it, and we can potentially get it back later. And they have a bunch of cards, but they don't have the mana to do anything, and they're on a very short clock. I chose to pitch the Blood Operative instead of the Plains, because 6 mana is an important number with Dawn of Hope out. It gives you the mana to both make a soldier and then pay 2 to draw a card every turn. So that was just something I was interested in. Go ahead and end the turn. If they want to just play a land, tap 7 and cast Nezahal, that's fine. They're on a short clock. That is more unfortunate. Ouch. That's all I got to say to that. Yep, sure, Disinformation Campaign, that's fine. Alright, let's make a soldier. Tapping the white, because we already have a ton of white mana, and our deck doesn't have that many white cards in it. Oh man, I miss our vampire already. Sad. So the question is, do we draw a card or hold mana up to activate Dawn of Hope again? I think I'm going to go ahead and draw. Alright. Play this guy. Again, make Nezahal not an attractive option. I'm gonna go ahead and exile Doom Whisperer here. We've seen the Eldest Reborn out of them, so they might have other reanimation effects. Here they will probably just Ritual of Soot, clear our board, but that's fine. Twilight Prophet, that was not expected. Again, tapping our planes. Let's draw some cards. Huh. So let's see what they do here. I just want to see what happens with this Thought Erasure. Our attacks aren't great, so I don't think there's a reason to do that pre-combat. Okay, resolve, that's fine. And then that actually means, yeah, sure. Ugh, Disinformation Campaign is ridiculous. We're probably actually just going to lose the game to this Twilight Prophet. In the main deck, out of a Nezahal Primal control deck was not what I anticipated, but... Do we attack? Nah, attacks aren't good enough. Okay, they didn't gain any for now. That's good for us. They might Disinformation Campaign to get our last card. They don't know what it is, though. Could be anything. This game is close. We really wish that there was a way to get this off the table. We've only got one Vraska's Contempt in the deck. Yep, sure. But our draw engine is going strong. We're drawing as many cards as they are. Just really need to shut down this Twilight Prophet, if only because it's going to gain them life. We got kind of lucky last turn when they drew an island, but can't get that lucky forever. Wow. So they got 3 cards. What are the odds that one of them's a counter? Do we Discovery looking for, like, a discard spell? Like a... I don't know. I think we do. We only have the one Vraska's Contempt in the whole deck, and so I think we need to... Go ahead and take this action, pick up our Blood Operative. Then what do we do? Do we attack in order to chart a course and pick up a couple cards, or do we commit another threat to try to induce the ritual? I think I'm going to attack and then chart. Oh man, we're tapped low enough that we can't Vraska's Contempt here? Oh, that's so bad. Oh, that's really unfortunate. I guess now I'll just pay the mana to draw a card off Dawn. Ugh, yuck. Okay, we got lucky with the flip again. They've got a lot of cards, though. Would love for just them to tap low for some reason. Like, anything to not have a counter up. Because I think if we can Contempt this, we'll run away with the game pretty easily. Oh boy, this deck plays really long games. Yeah, sure, you can have my soldier token. Thought Erasure. Thought Erasure. Which, that said, I don't think we can afford to do this. Oh boy. Will our odds get better than they are right now? I don't think they do. Oh, they definitely have a counter. Oh, yuck. Yeah. Oh boy. That just everything about that was terrible. These last few turns have just not worked out. Yeah, pick up Disinformation Campaign, I get it. Let's go ahead and chart a course. Discard Fountain of Renewal? Yeah, I think so. Oh, we're so close. Yep, sure, another disinformation campaign. Resolves. Yep, discard this Watery Grave. Ugh, we were so close, but I think this game has officially slipped out of reach. We have no way to kill this Twilight Prophet, and we have no way to finish the last bits of damage. Okay, they cast Nezahal. Yeah, we don't have anything going on. Oh my gosh. Why are we losing to random 4-drop creatures out of control decks? That should not be what we're losing to. This is ridiculous. Disdainful Strokes. Alright. So, what do we board out? We can board out like an Arterial Flow, maybe a couple Blood Operatives since they have Exiling Removal. Then a couple Charter Course. Yeah, like I said, I think we need to just completely re-examine our game plan, but I think it looks something like this. Maybe bring in one operative, cut one Oathsworn. But yeah, a lot of discard. And make sure we don't lose to a random Twilight Prophet. Maybe I was supposed to leave in the Arterial Flow? What is it better than? We already went down to 2 Charter Course. I don't think we can take our enablers that low. Maybe we can. Maybe we just want to win the long game with Dawn of Hope. So then... Wait, I boarded out a Thought Erasure. I meant to board out a Discovery. At 61... Ugh. Cut a Twilight Prophet, because it's unlikely to stay alive. Okay. Yeah. If I ever come back to this deck, and I think I definitely will after we get the new set, need to take a long, hard look at what my plans are. Like, draw up, how do I want my deck to look against control decks and things like that. Ugh. This hand is fine. I would love a white, but... I think Oathsworn into Arterial Flow with a counter is good enough. If we mulliganed every hand that did not have all the colors, we would mulligan too much. Okay, no removal for our Oathsworn Vampire is sweet. Actually, we would probably rather just collect our 2 cards while we can. Sweet! White mana, we can Thought Erasure and then Adanto. No Disinformation Campaign, also good for us. Huh. I think they have a removal spell. They were thinking about removing our Oathsworn Vampire to stop card draw off of Charter Course. Alright. Let's see what they're hiding. Thought Erasure is so good in this deck. Sure, Sinister Sabotage, that's fine. Because we get to stick our good vampire. Now, even if they have like a Twilight Prophet here, we just get to remove it and smash for 5. And anything else we've got to count, we can start attacking their hand while leaving a counter up. I think we're in a pretty good spot. Even a Ritual of Soot here is just mildly annoying. Thinking, yep. Magic is not easy. We even, if they like Ritual of Soot to force us to pay 4 and kill our vampire, we can even take 2 off the Watery Grave, Arterial Flow, and then replay the vampire, and then we're just ahead by a lot. They're gonna have to think quickly. They've only got one spare timeout. I also have one, yeah. Unmoored Ego. Probably naming Dawn of Hope? Damn, I wouldn't have expected that. Maybe they just think they're cold to the enchantment in most games. That's not how last game worked out, but without that Twilight Prophet, that might have been the case. I think we could have beaten a Nezahal without too much trouble if it hadn't been for the Prophet. No, Blood Operatives. Okay. Not what I would have named. We show the planes. I think we do. There's no reason to pay extra life. Just go ahead. Smash for 1,000,000. Make sure this isn't tapping us out of blue. It is not. Now they are on a very short clock. They missed their 4th land drop. Yeah. Pitching those, sure. Like a Moment of Craving would probably be their best thing here. Yeah. Ugh. Adanto Vanguard's really good, except when people are playing black. Or white, I suppose. Oh man, now are we gonna lose this game to Flooding Out? While they're missing land drops. Yeah, sure. Ugh. That's so bad if we draw like a Dawn of Hope or anything that gains life. If we draw our Fountain, we can just bury them with this Oathsworn Vampire, but... definitely not letting that one go. Oh my gosh, I'm a fool. Holy crap, if I'd waited till my turn, I could have played the soldier. Oh my. Oh well. Luckily, we drew something else good to do with our mana, so I am not punished for what a fool I am, but... sure, resolves. That was an extremely good draw for them. Can play the Adanto Vanguard, threaten to make another one, and hold up Disdainful Stroke. They'll get to hit me with the Thief, but I don't think there's too much of a way around that. Sure. Hopefully as we start drawing extra cards, we can dig for another Vraska's Contempt. It's possible the deck just needs some Moments of Craving in it. Like, it's a life gain enabler and also just deals with crap like this, so we don't have to lose to this. Putting an Oathsworn Vampire in our graveyard. Sure. You can draw 2 off Chart a Course. Alright, more lands are fine because we've got some expensive engines going. Fungal Infection. Damn! They have all the good anti-Adanto Vanguard cards. That's insane. Yeah, nothing we can do about that. Luckily, we are still in a good spot. Let's count our mana. We're going to go up to 8 when we play the Isolated Chapel. So we can draw 2 cards, play an Oathsworn Vampire, and hold up Disdainful Stroke. Or draw 1 card, play both, hold up Disdainful Stroke. I think I want to do that one. Yeah, go ahead, draw 1 card. I'm going to decline on this one. I think we just want to get pressure into play and threaten to end the game. Yep, sure, hit me again, that's fine. Sure. Could have Disdainful Stroked that, and maybe I'm even supposed to, but... okay. Let's go ahead and draw a card. Cool, more lands. Can play this and hold up Disdainful Stroke. They have a Cast Down. That's bad for me. Anything else, I think we're very in good shape. I will Disdainful Stroke a Vraska's Contempt on the Prophet. I think it's important enough to try to keep this around. They've got one of our cards that we don't know about. They declined a Discovery, so it's probably an okay card, if not an amazing one. Sure. We'll let that resolve. I really just want to untap with this Twilight Prophet. Search for Azcanta, yep, sure. They can't attack with their Thief of Sanity anymore. Oh my. Is that game? Not quite. But close. I think I'm going to decline both times. Go ahead and hit them for 5 down to 2. Decline. Basically, I want to hold up Disdainful Stroke and also Dawn of Hope. I would rather have the option to Dawn of Hope than cast Discovery here. Nothing I can do about that. Even if they get rid of our Disdainful Stroke and then Vraska's Contempt the Twilight Prophet, they're still dead on board, taking 4. Wow. Jeez Louise. We are losing games to the weirdest stuff. And, like, we still even have them dead on board. So we haven't necessarily lost the game. Yeah. Yeah, I was just gonna Contempt this. No reason to risk them having a removal spell. But holy moly. Okay. If they're gonna take our Blood Operatives, I'm totally fine with going down on those. I think their Twilight Prophet was still, like, the scariest thing we saw, and Disdainful Stroke can hit Connive. Wonder if I'm supposed to bring in a 4th Dawn, because it's so good. I could see, like, going down to just 2 Discovery, getting the 4th Dawn in here, since they have Thought Erasures and stuff, and they're likely to try to take ours. I don't know, though. That game was more how I expect games with this deck to work out. Just really long, winning with small creatures that have complete inevitability. I kind of appreciate the choose change, because I know why. This hand looks really good. Discard, card selection, card advantage, game-winning threat. Just everything we could want. Hopefully no Search for Azcanta out of them on 2. That would be kind of tough to beat. I prefer this, honestly. This is more beatable. Even though they probably take our Thought Erasure, mean we can't interact back with them very easily. Yep. We are a little cold to a Thief of Sanity now. Kinda need something to deal with that. We don't have anything that we want to discard at the moment, so I'm just gonna go ahead and Discovery instead of Chart a Course. I think that's fine. Just like Arterial Flow into double Adanto Vanguard. Please no Thief. Oh, they definitely have it. Unmoored Ego. Alright, what are you naming? Oh no, it's gonna shuffle our other Adanto Vanguard. They gonna name Blood Operative again? I do not think that was the correct name last time. Honestly, this card probably just shouldn't be in against us. Deck has a lot of moving parts, but all the pieces sort of replace each other. The best this can do is like give us the wrong ratio of like life gain cards to surveil to whatever. Yeah, I think this is a much better name. Okay, so Fountain of Renewal doesn't do anything yet, but it still uses our mana effectively to play the both of these. And we can try to Arterial Flow and get the life swing in addition to the discard next turn. Alternatively, if we draw some 2-mana thing to do, we can Chart a Course and do that. No! Dang it. Yep, sure, gain a life. Alright. I'm gonna just go ahead and Arterial Flow, get the cards out of their hand. Hopefully we'll just be able to stick a Twilight Prophet and win the game. Okay. Certainly happy to be rid of that. Please just be a land. Yes. Alright. Continuing to play lands out because we need lands in play to get the City's Blessing. No removal spell. Please don't be that lucky. Ugh. I think they definitely drew a Moment of Craving here. If this is a bluff, it gets them really far ahead. But if it's not a bluff, we'd like lose our best card. I'm gonna call. What are the odds that they drew exactly Moment of Craving? 100%? 100%. Oh my god. Oh boy. Well, at least now we don't need to worry about holding lands. Or not. Oh, man! I guess we should have waited to do this, because we can't play the card anyway. Now if they, like, Thought Erasure, they get to take our Danto Vanguard. Oh, man! Everything just worked out perfectly for them this game. Even though they wasted a card getting rid of our Dawn of Hopes. Just having exactly one threat when we didn't draw a single piece of removal. And of course they bin, one of the few ones we did have. And we're just flooding out while they... Ugh! These games have been really frustrating. The deck is, like, performing better than I expect it to, but then everything goes wrong all at once. Wow, the good game when they're just kind of ahead on board. That's, oh boy. Like, they are very far ahead, and they're 92% to win, but dropping the good game after you get a very lucky top deck to put you mostly likely to win is something else. Okay, flooded out, died after they got everything they wanted. Let's try to at least get something done in the third match, because the deck's been doing cool things and just coming up a little short. Alright, third match. Let's see if we can bring this back. I have also just played against, like, nothing but hard control decks for all day on Arena. Ugh. One lander. One lander again, but it has the right color for our good drop, and we've got a Scry. I think we want to keep this. We draw any land, we're kind of off to the races. Perfect. Doesn't enable these, but it does enable this to help us find a blue. Okay, not a hard control deck. It's kind of unfortunate. If we had blue, we could Chart a Course first, pitching Blood Operative, and then Discovery it back. Wildgrowth Walker. Well, that just might be unbeatable. That's another reason why this deck might not be good enough as it is right now, because the most popular builds of BG have 4 Wildgrowth Walker in the main right now, and this is almost unbeatable for us game 1. So, let's see if they want to block. They do not. I'm gonna go ahead and Thought Erasure now. If they like only have 1 Explore creature, we might be able to steal the game. They do not. Instead, they have all the Explore creatures in the world. Oh boy, we're so dead. Need to find our one of Vraska's Contempt yesterday. They drew a land, so they're probably going to get to do their thing pretty soon. We can't attack anymore. Oh my god, and they have double Vraska's Contempt for our 2 resilient creatures. Oh. Yeah, maybe we're supposed to have 4 Vraska's Contempt in the main, I don't know. Seems really hard to win games as is. Okay. Discard Blood Operative, since we can pick that back up in a second. Paying a lot of life here. We're going to go pretty low with how these aggressive cards they have are. But we really need to find the Vraska's Contempt. Otherwise, there's just no way we're winning the game. I think I'm going to decline to do this yet. We can pick it up later with a Thought Erasure, and we don't need to spend all that life. Yeah, sure. We don't block effectively, and honestly, at this point, I'm fine with just trading with the Branchwalker. Yep, they keep hitting their land drops. That is very good for them. Oh, they bend the Vraska's Contempt, huh? Didn't totally expect that. But yeah, we need to get rid of this Wild Growth Walker to have any chance at all, and then we need like a Dawn of Hope to run away with the game, basically. But that isn't that unlikely with what we've got going on. Alright. So, take Vraska Golgari Queen, because she continuously generates value. Huh. We can, like, trade off and keep chump blocking forever if we draw that, but I think it's too slow. Decline, because we don't have that much life to spare. Now we're not in the worst spot in the world, we just kind of are. I am just going to trade off here, if they offer it. Think we're just dead on board if they just kill this. Or exile it with Vraska's Contempt. Yeah. Entirely possible this deck just needs to be built differently. Like, if we're losing to hard control decks, and then also losing to a Wild Growth Walker on 2, something needs to change. But, as I mentioned at the beginning, this is very much a work in progress. I don't know what is right or wrong with this deck yet. I think Arterial Flow's pretty bad here. They're very good at playing off the top. As before, Oathsworn Vampire is mediocre. We can trim an Enabler. I think this is fine. But yeah. I had an initial idea, and it was too bad to even let the world see. It just wasn't doing anything. But it had, like, a neat core idea. And then this version does some powerful things, but ends up losing all the games anyway, which is, like, one step higher. Yeah, I think I'll keep playing around. Maybe there isn't anything to this deck, and it's just, it can't be built. Like, maybe it cannot be built correctly. Maybe there's no way to make it good yet. But that may or may not be the case, and it will almost certainly get much better. Well, it will certainly get much better, if only because of the addition of Hallowed Fountain and Godless Shrine. And it might actually get some piece that makes it all work together. I'm gonna Thought Erasure here, nab a potential Walker. Yes, the rest of their hand is much worse without that. That card is excellent to have on top. Alright, getting the Walker out of the graveyard so they can't even get it back later. Next turn, there are a lot of ways I can proceed. Okay, they pick up 2 lands. That was a very good card for them, but... Oh, this was a mistake. I was thinking about ways I could play this, and one of them was to play the Dawn of Hope and just draw a card when I gained life there. I think instead I will Dawn of Hope plus Oathsworn Vampire. If they want to Chupacabra my Vampire, that's fine. So basically, we can beat any number of mediocre Explorer creatures. We can't beat a second... Well, we can beat that, but it's going to be tough. I think I just play this Watery Grave tapped. Pass. We can afford to take a lot of damage because our deck gains a lot of life. So we can just let this hit us, and we can even chump block it with soldiers later. Sure. I don't think this was a great use of their turn. Yeah, sure, I'll take 6. Because now we can just use this turn cycle to get way ahead. So we can go ahead, go to combat, attack with this guy. I'm gonna actually decline to draw a card. Because we've got other stuff we want to do. Again, taking a fair amount of damage here, but we just really get to pull ahead in cards. And start building up our board. If they play the Doom Whisperer, I'll probably just Vraska's Contempt that. Maybe I won't. We'll see. Sure, go ahead. Hit me for a lot, that's fine. Now, actually, if they play the Doom Whisperer, what I'll do is I'll make a soldier token, then on my turn, I will Contempt the Doom Whisperer, draw a card, and pass the turn. Then I can trade here, chump there if I want. Sure, Branchwalker or whatever. Yep, draw a card, that's fine. Nothing, huh? So let's go ahead. I will attack with my Lonely Soldier token. Damage, sure. Okay. Now I just need to avoid death. So I think what I do is pass. I can look to trade off things in combat or chump the Nullhide Ferox, and I can Disdainful Stroke. Huh. Sure. Casting down my Oathsworn Vampire. That's really aggressive. Alright. This might burn me, but I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity to get rid of the Nullhide Ferox. They might just slam Doom Whisperer here and I never find an answer and lose the game, so maybe I wasn't supposed to do that. Yeah, that was probably hasty. I just wanted to kill it too badly. Please just don't play your big demon here. Play anything else. Anything in the world. Oh boy. Alright, Vraska's Contempt. I need you. I need you right now. They apparently do not have anything else. Alright. Charter Course. What do we got? Discarding Blood Operative. Oh boy. So if we block here, we gain 1 up to 10, take 8, go down to 2. So we do have a turn, as long as they don't have anything. I don't think we can play around them having... I did have another option that I didn't think about enough. I could have just passed with Dawn of Hope up, and then even through a removal spell we win. Decline. Yeah, I screwed this game up. I think we could have won this one. Oh well. No use crying about it now. Oh, I probably shouldn't have played that swamp. We might have wanted to discard it. Alright, let's see if they have a removal spell to kill us. Huh. And actually, they should have, if they didn't already have one, which maybe they do. They could have dug real hard with a Doom Whisperer to find a removal spell and then just win the game on board. And that said, we never even found the Vraska's Contempt, so the extra card probably won't matter here. Never found it, and this does not save us by itself, so okay, we're dead. This game was squarely my fault, so sorry, deck, I let you down that time. So what did we learn from this solid trouncing? We learned that the deck does do powerful things. It has so much recursion and inevitability and card draw that it can hang with the best decks in the format on that axis. But what are the problems? It doesn't have nearly enough, I'm going to say like reactive, but I mean like later interaction. Like not enough counters and not enough removal. It just has the discard, and that's not good enough. They will top deck threats, and we are too cold to those threats. So, if I'm going to rebuild the deck, maybe it needs more of that. Maybe the charter courses are excessive. Perhaps I don't need the blue as much as I thought, and just the Surveil is enough to be getting rid of the Oathsworn vampires. Maybe I cut those and just put in a bunch more main deck removal, and that could be how the deck works. But anyway, we learned the deck does cool things. The mana actually works. We didn't really lose games to colors, which was kind of surprising, but we didn't. And we learned that we can generate value, but value is not created equally. We need to be able to respond to what the opponent is doing. So, with that said, if you enjoyed this content and you want to see the evolution of this deck if I come back to it, I would love it if you could subscribe to the channel. It helps make sure you see all of the videos that we release, as well as helps other people find the stuff. That's all for today, and thank you.